week 13 of the fantasy basketball season. And here's a few centers I looked to add this week. And at the time of recording this video, none of these players have been placed on the safety or protocol list. I got to remind everyone that before these guys go on the list, and it don't make sense to add them, obviously. So the first guy, Trey Lyles of the Detroit Pistons. So Lyles, it's been a pretty good season in his first year with the Pistons. 9 points a game, 4.7 rebounds, 1.1 assists, and 44% from the field. But the last few weeks here, his numbers have gone up with more playing time. 13.5 points a game, 8.3 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 3 a game, and 51% from the field. So Lyles here, he's been getting that playing time. He was on the safety and protocol list for a couple games, but now he's back and he's playing good. I know Isaiah Stewart's back in the mix here for this Piston team after he came off the protocol list. But anyway, here for Lyles, the last 3 games, January 5th at the Hornets, 17 points, 7 boards, an assist, 53% from the field. January 6th at Memphis, 10 points, 6 rebounds, an assist, a steal, 37% from the field. And January 8th versus the Magic, 16 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, 3, and 70% from the field. So right here, he's very efficient from the field. He's hitting the 3 ball, he's scoring, and he's a pretty good rebounder. And right now, he's still available in 88% of fantasy leagues. I definitely would go out there and give Lyles an ad this week. The next center is Nicolas Claxton of the Brooklyn Nets. And Nicolas Claxton, he's had a good second season here with this net team. And right now, he's available in 52% of fantasy leagues, but a very active and athletic center is Claxton. On the season, 9.2 points a game, 5.2 rebounds, 1.3 blocks a game, and 66% from the field the last few weeks here. His numbers have risen up, 13 points a game, 6.3 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 1.2 steals a game, and 1.5 blocks a game, with a whopping 75% from the field here for Claxton. So this net team, we know they got tons of offensive weapons. We know Irvin's back in the mix, playing only road games, but still better than nothing. And teams, they're not going to pay attention to Claxton on the offensive end. So he's going to get rebounds. He's going to get a lot of dirty putbacks and easy buckets as a garbage man there. And he's going to give you fantasy owners almost a double-double nightly. Decent 1.5, 2 blocks a game, and a great field goal. The last few games here for Claxton, January 3rd versus Memphis, 11 points, 3 rebounds, an assist, 2 steals, a block, 75% from the field. January 5th at the Pacers, 12 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals, a block, 62% from the field. And January 7th versus the Bucks, 14 points, 6 rebounds, an assist, a steal, a block, and 66% from the field. So Claxton right now available in 52% of fantasy leagues, and he's definitely a center I would add this week. The next guy is Omer Yurtseven of the Miami Heat. So he's been one of the biggest pickups this season in fantasy basketball, especially over the last few weeks here. And he's available only in 40% of fantasy leagues. Even if Bam Adebayo and Dwayne Dedmon come back soon here, there's no way this Miami Heat team could bench this guy and not give him pretty big minutes. On the season, 5.6 points a game, 6.4 rebounds and assists, and 46% from the field. But the last few weeks here, since he's got real playing time, 12 points a game, a whopping 15.3 rebounds, 2.6 assists, 1.4 steals a game, and 46% from the field. So right now, he's putting up big numbers. He's performing big time for this Heat team. And what another great find for this Heat team, to find a guy undrafted, and he could go right into the lineup and put up big numbers. January 3rd at the Warriors, 5 points, 17 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 28% from the field. January 5th at Portland, 14 points, 16 rebounds, 4 assists, a block, 55% from the field. And then January 8th, he almost had a triple-double in that ball game. 7 points, 16 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, and 25% from the field. So Yurtseven right now, he's given fantasy owners 4 or 5 categories, with his strength obviously being rebounding. So if you need rebounding and a consistent center right now, he's definitely a center I would get this week. The next center is Maxi Kleber of the Dallas Mavericks. So we know Porzingis is on the safety and protocol list, and Kleber stepped up over the last few games here, and he's playing good basketball. Right now, he's still available, is Kleber, in 84% of leagues. On the season, 7.3 points a game, 6.2 rebounds, and assists, 1.5 threes a game, and 41% from the field. But the last few weeks here, the numbers not all that great, but they've definitely gone up. 7.3 points a game, 7.8 rebounds, 1.3 assists, 1.3 blocks a game, a steal, 1.8 threes, and 34% from the field. So right now, he's not going to help you in field goal, but he's going to give fantasy owners other things of worthiness here is Kleber. And as long as Porzingis is out, he's definitely worth an ad. The last few games here for Kleber: January 3rd versus Denver, 10 points, 5 boards, an assist, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 2 threes, 42% from the field. January 5th versus the Warriors, 2 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, a block, an awful 11% from the field. And then January 7th at Houston, 8 points, 11 rebounds, an assist, a steal, a block, and 2 threes, 50% from the field. So if you need a few threes a game, some rebounding, and a steal and block, I think Kleber's a decent ad this week. And only a guy I would add, though, as long as Porzingis is out in the fifth and final center, I look to add Hassan Whiteside of the Utah Jazz. So Whiteside, he's back in the lineup after he was on the safety and protocol list. And now with Rudy Gobert at least a few games because he's on the protocol list here, Whiteside's going to play big minutes, in my opinion, for this Jazz team. And he's still a guy that could go out there and produce on the season. 7.8 points a game, 6.6 rebounds, 1.3 blocks a game, and 62% from the field. So Whiteside, we know he's a good rebounder. We know he'll score 7-8 points a game, and he also could block a decent amount of shots at 1 or 2 a game. So right now with Gobert out of the lineup, I think he's a decent ad as Whiteside, and he'll help fantasy owners in 4 or 5 categories: percentages, the rebounding, and blocking shots the last few games since he returned from the protocol list. January 7th at Toronto, 7 points, 7 rebounds, and assists, 2 blocks, 60% from the field. And January 8th at the Pacers, 8 points, 8 rebounds, 50% from the field. So right now, Whiteside's available in 67% of fantasy leagues. And I definitely would give him an ad this week. So that's a few centers I'd look to add here for week 13 of the fantasy basketball season.